So where are we?
We are at the edge of hell.
What? I don't want to be here. Bye. I'll see you later.
Yeah, well, I said it in that way. I didn't tell you where we are coming because I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, gosh.
This is the Valley of Hinnom, and it's Ben Hinnom, from which we get the word.
Oh, does Hinnom mean hell or?
No.
Why? Okay.
But it became a substitute for hell. Jesus talked about Gehenna, and translators often translate that hell.
Oh, I see.
There's a reason. Think about what's happened here. This was a city dump. There's a reason it's a city dump. We're in the southwest corner of the city of David. The lowest place is down here. In fact, this valley right here, the Hinnom Valley, meets right over there with the Kidron Valley. So the two valleys come together, and then everything rises from here. And so this is the bottom corner of the city of David. And in fact, they're doing archaeological digs right now, right here next to us, where they're looking for the beginnings of this most southwestern wall. Well, many stories can be told related to this location. Let me discuss a couple. Starting with King Josiah. Josiah was just 8 years old when he became king. It was during his time when they were restoring the temple because people had gotten so far from God. It was not used as a place to worship God. In fact, terrible things were happening there. Terrible things. They had male shrine prostitutes, women who would weave for Asherah, suggesting prostitution. So we have male and female prostitutes. We have horses and chariots kept at the temple for the worship of the sun. All kinds of things. And so Josiah, when they read the law, they realized they were so far from God. He was king for 18 years when this happened.
Oh man. So he's...
I just think if people would be into the Word every day, if they knew the Word, how much sin that would occur otherwise would not occur. So being into the Word, that's God's Word, speaking to us, there's the standard. We can know how to live, what's right, what's wrong.
It shows you how to live.
So clearly Josiah wanted to please God. In fact, he's declared to be the best king there ever was. And so, as is Hezekiah, we have two of the very best kings. And so he wants to please God, but he just didn't realize. So for 18 years he's king and he doesn't realize how bad things were. But when they read the law, he put on sackcloth and ashes. He fasted, he prayed, and so changes began to happen.
It was then when he realized.
Yeah, he realized.
What was going on,
One of the things they did, they burned all those chariots dedicated to the sun, and they took the ashes and they deposited them here to defile this area as part of it. Now again, this was a place of defilement, meaning it's the county dump.
Oh, I see.
The winds blow from the west, they come this way, and so you don't want to put the dump right where the wind's going to be blowing them into the... Okay, so you're going to blow it away.
That makes sense.
So they put the dump here. So all that old rotting food, all that old material that's no longer used, you dump it here, and the winds will blow it away from the city. Which is why when Jesus talked about a place where the fire never goes out and the worm never dies, Gehenna.
I see.
It's the dump, And so he's talking about hell there, and so that's why translators will sometimes translate the word hell. Because this
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, and there were actually lots of kings who walked away from God throughout the history of South Judah. And of course we think of South Judah, those two tribes, as being the faithful tribes, as the 10 northern tribes that were so far from God that God finally brought the Assyrians and destroyed them. But even Solomon, who God felt such affection for him when he was born, and this is going to be the king after David, we expect such good things, and God blessed him greatly, gave him wisdom. That's what Solomon wanted to do, to please God. But then he did what? He married countless wives and had concubines beyond number.
Oh my gosh.
And then I think as a matter of wanting to please his wives and just go along, not necessarily that he thinks this is real meaningful, but he wants to please his wives.
So
he comes out and he offers sacrifice. And in the valley of Hinnom, this is Topheth, and we think that word comes from the word drum. Because Molech is the one that's worshipped.
Okay.
How do you worship Molech? Do you know?
No, I haven't. With the drum, maybe? I would assume.
You beat the drum
I see.
to hide the cries of the babies that you roll into the fire.
Oh, you're telling me they're sacrificing babies?
They sacrifice babies right here.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they did.
That's terrible.
And
I can't
even
believe he did this.
even a Solomon.
I know, I can't. Wow.
Which tells me that if we do not stay in the Word, if we are not
Yeah.
convicted every day, boy, we can get far from God.
Yeah, it seems like
Even
we-
those who think that couldn't ever happen in their situation, they can move far from God.
Well, it sounds like he lost his way. Did he ever make it back?
I would like to believe so, but there's nothing in the Bible that indicates that he
sucks.
did.